Good morning, everyone, or good evening, depending where you are in this beautiful planet. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you very much. Please let me know if there is any technical issue during this session so we can take advantage of this technology to bring the experience of unity that we always come here to have. Thank you for being here, co-creating together this portal of light, this gate of consciousness through which we receive the remembrance of the truth of who we are. And it helps us to connect with our true identity. Every time that in which two or more are united by the truth and love, our Divine Mother said that she would be present because she is the mother of love. And that is what happens here. She is here, literally speaking, extending the divine grace to all of us in the presence of the truth. And wherever she is, it is the whole creation that comes from divine love, because creation and its source are one and the same. So we are here in the presence of totality. Sometimes we can feel that with our human senses. Sometimes our humanity cannot perceive that presence, but that is not essential because our soul knows perfectly well who is in front of it. Our soul knows heaven. Our heart knows the truth. Our mind can recognize love. If we are connected to our true self, we can be in the presence of the divine reality. And that is what we do here. This gathering is instituted by our Divine Mother, and it is called Discernment of the Heart. And it is a gift coming from her, according to my understanding and my feeling, because it helps us to connect with something very important for our Divine Mother, which is the discernment that we truly are. Divine wisdom lives in every single aspect of creation because it is an extension of that wisdom. So the truth is in our heart. Discernment of the heart helps us to connect with that aspect of our heart, the temple in which the truth lives and talks constantly to the soul. There's no reason to look for anything outside our soul, because we have been created with everything that comes from the divine reality. The idea of looking for an external authority is part of the past. It was needed, according to Jesus Christ, because of many reasons in the past. But now we are in the new. The new is the direct relationship with God. It is a return to our source, so we can integrate the truth of who we are into our humanity. Embodiment of love is the convergence of our reality. And that is what discernment of the heart is all about. It is about recovering the capacity to listen to the voice of love in our heart and to be guided by it. It's not just listening to our heart, but to follow it, no matter where it brings us. Just follow your heart, because your heart knows perfectly well what it is in harmony with who you are. There is a wisdom in our soul, in our humanity. No one can tell you what is in harmony with what you are except for your mother, except for Christ in you. So when we ask others to tell us who we are asking them something that they cannot answer, because the truth is always revealed within the singularity that you are. You are the unique expression of divine love that only you can be. There will never be, and there was never anyone like you in creation, Jesus says, because you are unique. And the way of receiving the divine revelation is also unique. And this is a radical revelation that we are receiving. In the past, as humanity, we thought and we believed that the truth was one and the same, and its manifestation was also one and the same. So rather than accepting infinite different manifestation of the same truth, we were walking through a path in which we tried everyone to get into one form of expression of the truth, telling others how to feel, how to behave, how to be, how to manifest themselves. But now we are in the time of the light, the time of embodiments of love, the time in which we are going to be able to be who we truly are in our humanity, guided by the Holy Spirit, by the true self that we truly are. And that is all about discernment. So we come here not to develop a topic by itself, but to have the experience of connecting with our heart to find guidance to make any decision when we think we need to make decisions. And today we are going to use one particular topic that our Divine Mother gives us, which is the title that we are going to use for this session is Who is Choosing? Who is choosing? And we are going to develop this as we always do in this session of Discernment of the Heart. I'm going to give a briefly ideas of this topic so we can have a guidance to the dialogue, and then we can move for the rest of the session to a dialogue from heart to heart, not to develop concepts, not to understand anything, but to be connected with the discernment of the heart that our Divine Mother wants, so we can be connected with this capacity of making choices, making decisions, making discernments through our true self. As we always do, before moving ahead, I would like to say hello to each of you as an act of acknowledging our uniqueness, which is extremely important for discernment of the heart. When we think we are nothing important except for the totality, and we lose our uniqueness, then we lose the capacity of discernment of the heart. Because when we think that the part is not important compared to the totality, we are disconnecting the totality from what it is. Jesus says, when I say you are totality, that means what it means, totality. So the whole and the part are part of the totality. If you deny your uniqueness, you deny yourself. Jesus uses an expression that helps us a lot to understand this when he says, there is no something like a word to which I talk to you, because a word is a concept. I talk to you and I do it to your heart. And we honor our uniqueness bringing it to our consciousness through this act of saying hello to each of us. This is not a group. This is a gathering of holy beings that are manifestations of the divine reality. This is what this is, because this is all about consciousness. So thank you, Ruben, for being here. Also, Georgie, Sarah, Jimmy, Sharon, Elizabeth. Thank you, Monica, Jennifer, Lourdes, Alice. Thank you, Lina, Titina, Chris. I think it's Joey Chris. Yeah, I'm using my glasses. I'm sorry. Florencia, thank you for being here as well. And also Christy. Very nice to see you, Christy. I'm happy to see you. And I love your background and then your backstage. It's very nice. So thank you everyone for being here and for the celebration of being here with all of you. This is truly a celebration. Our Divine Mother wants us to know that the truth is going to be always revealed in union and relationship, because love and truth are one and the same, and love is all about union and relationship. So we need each other to know the truth. So thank you. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to enjoy the beauty of wisdom in the presence of our Divine Mother in union and relationship. It's a true blessing for me. So thank you very much. And now I would like to invite you to remain 1 or 2 more minutes in silence before moving ahead and to connect with some music. This has a very deep and important purpose. Silence is needed to connect with the discernment of the heart. Very needed. We live in a society full of noises and interactions and information and so many things wandering around. And that can create a state in which we finally lose the connection with our true self in our consciousness. So we are invited to cultivate the habit of remaining in the silence of our heart, which is not just a lack of words or something like that. The silence of the heart is that space, that temple in your soul in which you live in peace, where judgment disappears because it is the truth of who we are. The silence of our being is the center of our heart, from which every creation that comes from holiness is manifested. It is that space in which we go and we know who we are without words. We know we are at peace, no matter what's going on around you. We know we are holy. We know the truth, no matter what others tell us. We know the truth that we are holy. We are divinely loved with an infinite love that has no beginning or end. That is the silence of the heart. Silence is a state of being, and a state of consciousness in which we live at peace. No guilty feelings, no judgments, no thoughts that are wandering around trying to develop concepts. The silence of the heart is our ultimate reality. It is the kingdom of heaven that we truly are. That is the place of our true identity. And that is where I invite you to go now, to remain at peace, taking distance from all your beliefs, because none of your beliefs are true. The truth of who you are is far beyond any concept, any dogma, any belief, any idea. So we take distance from all our interpretations, at least for these few minutes. We take distance from the world, which is a thought system, but it's not part of who we are. We take distance from everything that we believe about ourselves, about others, about God, about how things should be according to our understanding. We rest in peace, in the stillness of our soul. And after listening to the music, I'm going to develop the topic that our Divine Mother wants to bring today, which is who is choosing? Thank you for this time of presence. And now I would like to briefly sharing something about the topic that we are going to develop today, as I mentioned before, and what comes from a dialogue with our Divine Mother. As I said, the title that I gave to this is Who is Choosing? Our Divine Mother wants us to be aware of the fact that we usually know, but we forget that we are constantly making a decision to decide from fear or from the truth of who we are. We are accustomed, according to her and also to our own experience, we are accustomed to making decisions based on luck. When we make decisions, we think about whether this is more convenient or not, what can I obtain from this decision, how can I gain something from this decision. We are trained to do that. And our Divine Mother invites us to change that pattern. And rather than trying to obtain something from one decision, she says, ask yourself, how can I serve in this situation? What would love do in this situation? And the answer will be very clear to you. Because moving from a question of how much benefit I can get from this to how can I serve? What would love do in this situation? Helps us to move from a state of ego mind to the state of being in Christ. Embodiments of love, she says, don't ask a question such as, what can I gain from this? What is the most benefit that I can get from this decision or the other decision? They are constantly aware of the fact that they are no longer God's seekers. And because we are not looking for anything else, because now we know who we are, we remember that the only thing that love wants to do is to extend itself. So the question for embodiments of love, those who already know who they are, is how, where, and in which way I can extend love. Because love is an energy, it's a spiritual strength that is constantly looking for ways to be extended. That's the only reason why love exists. And because love is that, love is extension, love is sharing, love is manifesting and manifestation by itself. Because of that, then we exist. Creation is an act of extension, an extension of the divine reality into what we are. So the matter of choosing, the matter of making elections is all about identity. When we forget who we are, we make decisions based on fear, lack, which is what we call the ego pattern. We make decisions to survive. But when we remember who we are, we begin to make decisions based on the criteria that I mentioned before, which is, how can I serve? How can I extend my true identity in this situation? And our Divine Mother wants us to have what she calls the golden question. She says very clearly, discard those questions such as, what is most convenient for me? What am I obtain from this? She invites us to discard, to disregard those kind of questions. And she asks the golden question, which is, what would the love that I am do in this situation? When we go to the golden question, everything changes, because this question moves our humanity from the analytical logic mind to our being, to our heart, to our true identity. And from there is from where we can make what we call the right decision, understanding right in this concept as the decision that is fully in harmony with who you are. And when we remember that we are love and nothing else but love, then what else we can decide rather than just extending that? Where can I serve best? How can I extend my peace here? Those are the questions that our Divine Mother invites us to bring to our consciousness every time that we think we need to make a decision of whatever. So we can move from choosing from the ego standpoint to the love that we truly are. Who is choosing every time that we choose? How can we make a distinction, a discernment, whether we are choosing from the true self that we are, which is love, or from fear? Our Divine Mother says, you will know that clearly based on your feelings. When you decide based on fear, there is a contraction, there's tension, there is conflict. But basically, you will experience in your body tension. When you decide based on who you are, which is love, you will feel expansion, extension, and a deep sense of inner peace. And that is going to be your guidance. Be connected to your body, to your feelings when you make a decision. Do you feel tension? Do you feel anxiety? Contraction in one way or another? Then you know who is choosing. Do you feel inner peace, extension, harmony? Then you know who is choosing. And finally, she says, the expansion of love doesn't mean that you need to do everything that your humanity likes. I mean, in the surface, sometimes love will tell you to do something that it is difficult for your ego mind to accept, and you will see that resistance. But because you know who you are, you will not be identified with that. The difference between choosing from the ego standpoint to the love that we truly are, which means our true identity, is that even though there is something challenging to do, we walk through all of that at peace, with serenity, with a certainty that can never come from the ego mind. Certainty is always the manifestation of love in our humanity. Sometimes we feel deep in our heart, we have to do this. And we know with perfect certainty that that comes from our true self. That is what it is in harmony with us. But at the same time, we know that this is going to be challenging because maybe the people that I love will not like that, or maybe they reject me, or I have to do something that some people it's going to be difficult for some people who are next to me or whom I love. But you know you have to do that, and you do it. No matter how difficult that process is for your humanity, you just follow your heart. And there is something deep in your humanity that says, I can walk through any kind of storm through this guidance, because guided by this knowing, guided by this revelation, because I know from where it comes. I know this comes from the true self that I am, no matter whether others like it or not, no matter whether others understand that or not, we keep going. So sometimes expansion means challenging, but that challenging is going to be in the surface because deep in your heart, there's a certainty that this is your way, this is your path, this is the choice that is perfectly in harmony with your true identity. There is expansion, there's a deep sense of dignity when we choose from the true self that we are. We don't make choices to survive or to obtain anything. We just live our life as we have been created to be, which is to extend our true self constantly, to find new ways, new opportunities, new circumstances to extend peace, to serve the purpose of life. And that is the criteria that is in harmony with our true self. So this is an invitation to be aware of who is choosing when we choose something and how we can have a criteria of discernment to make sure that we are deciding in harmony with our true identity, with our true nature. So thank you. Thank you very much for listening to me and for being open to receive this topic, which is an energy. It's not just a topic. Um, and now I invite you to use the rest of the gathering to immerse into a dialogue related to this topic. And as we always do, we can ask some questions, to guide the dialogue. And that question can be, from where am I deciding? Think about a decision that you did. Maybe yesterday, maybe 2 weeks ago, whatever it comes to your mind. From where I have choose. How many times I ask, what would love do in this situation before making a decision? Think about that situation, that decision that you made, and be connected to your body, to the feelings that you experienced in that decision. Is there tension? Is there expansion? Think about that problem that you made a decision, and so think that you can see that from a different perspective. Maybe I made a decision based on fear, but now our Divine Mother wants us to do the following exercise, which is look at that situation from a different perspective, from the perspective of the divine love that you are. What would love do in that situation? how many times we have decided based on ego, on fear, based on lack. Sometimes we decide just because we want to be accepted, because we want to be loved by others, going also against us. We don't want to do this, but we do it just because we don't want to be alone, or because we want to receive something from others, because we feel emptiness. With those questions in our heart, I invite you to share whatever you want to share related to this important topic that our Divine Mother brings today. You can remain in silence for the rest of the session if you want, because the way of, bringing the truth from the Holy Spirit can be just being in silence, using words, asking questions, sharing experiences. We are here connected from heart to heart in our consciousness. So you don't need to use words if you don't want. But if you feel moved to share something, you are welcome whenever you want. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian. I really appreciate the beautiful words that just flow out of your heart. For me, it's important that I decide from conscious awareness, being present here and vigilant to whatever comes up in the present moment. Love wouldn't ignore an inner call for love. Like a loving father or loving mother that has a brand new child, a baby, and the baby cries in the other room, that parent will automatically come to the baby, and just holding it, for example, will ease its fear or its help in its call for love. And then we figure out as a parent why the child is crying. So for me, the highest service I could provide is to witness any inner call for love that might be triggered at any time. And just with love's awareness, with kind awareness, see that it doesn't last in the presence of love, in the presence of the present moment. And do that kind of loving inner service to undo when fear all of a sudden comes up. I wrote some notes here. So the importance here is, again, watching for opportunities at any time where just being present and vigilance is needed. And I could tell because I feel something that came up is being triggered within me, is being brought up. It isn't out there, it's always within, and it's a choice. The choice is either to ignore it, be unconscious, fuel it with that, or bring like water to fire and extinguish it, let it go through love's awareness. Um, so with with a certain practice that I have, it's a practice of mindfulness and self-observation for an extended period of time in meditation and concentrated looking inward. I've I've learned to more and more to be vigilant and to practice. Okay, here's my breath that's always in the moment. And here I am being with what is coming up for me as I'm in the breath and choosing for love, choosing for its release, its letting go, and giving it over for staying in that love that I'm already in or be in it because that's the inner little alarm that's ringing within me. It has nothing to do with what it's out there and what someone said, but how I once interpreted that, and it comes up to be undone in my presence as I'm aware of it. And more than ever now, especially when I'm in a busy supermarket, and I could tell as soon as I walk into that space, it's time for me to hone in on my practice and watch for opportunities for healing, for love from its call within when I'm in that experience. Um, that's my practice. I'm complete. Thank you.
Thank you, Joey, Chris, for your sharing and for giving us the gift of your wisdom. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, Jennifer, go ahead. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Such a delight to see all these beautiful smiles and heartfelt smiles of joy. Um, Sebastian, thank you for this topic because it's a topic that I've been working with without realizing that I've been working with it, especially this year. Uh, and for myself, what I've found, um, because we make thousands of decisions a day, right? We're making decision after decision after decision. What should I eat? Where should I go? What should I do? How can I serve? Every single, almost everything we do is a decision and a choice. So it requires some discernment. Uh, and more this year through uh, conscious awareness and mindfulness, uh, choosing from the heart and how it makes me feel. And true to what you just shared, which is so important, is where are we choosing from? So I've caught myself, I catch myself coming from fear, and through my conscious awareness, I'll pause, right? I'll pause uh, because I realize something doesn't feel good, right? And I'm like, why doesn't this feel good? And then I'm like, oh, you're choosing from fear. You're forgetting who you are. So I'll drop into my heart, similar to what you're saying, and say, how can I choose from love? Um, and what would that choice be? And what I find is that when I take that moment of reflection or I take the time, that something actually almost physically shifts within the body. and some the new choices come through, and it's dropping in and feel, I don't want to say feeling, it's kind of dropping into the heart, remembering who I am as an expression of divinity, as an expression of love, and as expression of truth, and asking for the answers. And then when the answers come, there's just either a wave of peace or a wave of joy or a wave of feeling in harmony or balanced again. Um, uh, and what I love about what you just shared is this golden question, right? And how to discern, how to ask um, for answers from our heart in a way that maybe might be more efficient, if you will. Since the question is coming from Divine Mother, she's sharing through you how to really ask of our heart, ask of our true nature. Um, what are the choices that will be me coming from love? Because so I love that. And one thing that I haven't thought about uh, is, and I completely agree with you, uh, and what's come through today, because it's kind of started coming to me, is uh, when making those choices coming from how am I benefiting, right? What am I going to get out of this? How am I benefiting? And to stop doing that and really come from, oh, how can I serve love? I mean, that is a beautiful um, new perspective uh, that I can't wait to start working with. I can't wait to start working with that question and that shift in perspective. Because really, it's almost a shift in perspective, and then everything shifts within us. Um, uh, it's just being in the conscious awareness to pause and then ask these questions of ourselves in this way. So thank you. This is really, really a very important topic because of how many choices we have to make daily, from the minutia to the big picture. They're all choices, and sometimes we do choose from the heart. Um, but maybe if we chose from the heart more often, the big picture and what actually shows up in our life matches it a little bit better. So thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you, Jennifer, very much for what you shared. And I think you expressed in a very beautiful and deep way the essence of this dialogue, what our Divine Mother wants uh, to receive as a gift, actually, because as you said before, it helps us to change our patterns. Discernment of the heart is all about moving from making decisions from the intellect to making decisions from the intuition and the wisdom of the heart, which lives in us. So I prepared an image with just two sentences that the first one is like a summary of what we are talking here. And then I shared a quote that comes directly from our Divine Mother this morning when I was um praying. She received whatever we are sharing here. And I'm going to share that on the screen before Ruben speaks, just to allow you, me, and everyone who watches this video to keep this in our heart. I think these two sentences or phrases, actually they are paragraphs, can help us a lot to remember the truth of what we are talking. Sometimes our Divine Mother gives us, very simple expressions that say a lot. So, and they help us just to keep short concepts, short ideas to reveal deep, deep wisdom and revelations. So, I would like to share that now with you. I hope you can see it on the screen. Just to be focused on the content. And the summary of what we are talking, and I think that is what you brought, Jennifer, is we do not decide anymore to obtain a future result. We decide to manifest our present identity. And that makes all the difference. That is the big difference between manifesting Christ or manifesting fear and ego. And our Divine Mother says in her way what is here quoted. And it says, when you don't know what to do, stop. Remember that you are love, and then do what love would do. That choice can never be wrong because its origin is God. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me and for giving us the opportunity to drink, this divine wisdom coming from our Divine Mother. And please, Ruben, go ahead.
Now I don't have any doubt who is the son. Yeah, now, but it wasn't always like this. But I always choose love. Now I say, love lead the way. Father, you're the one. Jesus, the Spirit, the truth, you lead the way. And I guess I'm choosing this stuff, the eternal. So I'm the one choosing, but there is no separation between the eternal and I. I am the eternal. That's what I noticed. I become the eternal choosing the eternal. Of course, before that, I noticed too the illusion choosing the illusion till I had enough. But it's just, I'm just walking and clearing the way. Whatever is in the front, now I know is for my own good. Whatever show up is for my own good because I gave my life to the truth. I gave my life to the Spirit. And whatever approach me, it need a blessing. Or I need to extend myself to the. I had a situation not long ago, and I'm like, this brother was suffering. He was suffering. And he realized, he knows that this is a dream. And in the dream we use illusion. So that's what I did. I used an illusion. And later on I was like, Ruben, no, everything is fine because I live and move in God. And this boy, this man, he was able to listen to me when I embraced this illusion. We use illusions in order for us to wake them up. Wake up, brother. You're sleeping. I saw his smile, and I guess talking to him from that place, it is an illusion, but at the same time, this illusion is part of God's. And now from eternity point of view, there is no illusion, Ruben. Beyond or behind those words that you use, or behind whatever you use to break the ice with this brother, it was pure love. It was pure love. You saw him suffering. You saw him trapped. And I was there probably 30 years ago, like him. I saw myself in him suffering. My problem was with God. My relationship with the God that I knew, it was, God, this God was on top of me all the time. You do what I say, Ruben. If not, I'm like, I was trapped in that God. And a lady, I guess she was part of Course in Miracles, one of this group, because she said, Ruben, you know, your God is the one giving you trouble. My God is pure love, Ruben. Use my God and tap that one. I was so naive, ignorant of the truth, but I was trapped in that illusion on that God. And I said, can we do that? Can we change God? I mean, Ruben, the one that I'm offering is an eternal. It's pure love. Loves me the way I am. He doesn't judge me. And the one that I see in you, you have to work very hard for him. You have to pay your 10 or 15 or 20% every year and blah, blah, blah. You're a slave. And I see a lot of conflict. But it is up to you to make that decision. You have my God here. And you had your God here. So I'm like, I know deep inside, love was chosen for me. I know deep inside, because even when they ask me, Ruben, are you a body with a spirit, or are you a spirit with a body? I had to choose. But it is very obvious. I mean, I was so tired of this guy that I chose the other one. Yeah. And the feeling that comes with choosing the eternal, it's just eternal life. And it's just, in the beginning, it's just a thought, but that thought becoming an idea, a belief, and later you become that. And that way you can drop all these ideas and all these beliefs. Now you know that you are that. So I choose love. I choose love because love chose me many, 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 many years ago. I didn't know. I didn't know that my parents, my family, choose me, choose love. So love is always been there. But I got lost. I got lost. But it's never too late to choose our true identity. It's love. So love is love is everything. So thank you for this space. I am complete, Sebastian.
Thank you, Ruben, very much for what you share. And I think Jeannie wants to say something. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Wonderful topic and wonderful shares. Thank you. What came up for me in reflecting on this topic is actually it's related to what Jennifer shared about, you know, it seems we have like 1,000, well, maybe not 1,000, but maybe, but like hundreds, if not thousands of decisions every day. You know, do I do this? Do I do that? And so I had an example. So, in terms of the choosing, and I was trying to think of a big decision. I was, and what came up for me was not like a big decision in just now in terms of reflecting on the topic, but rather what came up for me just now was, where am I choosing to place my attention? Because, oh boy, I had an example last night where I did not choose consciously from love or true self. I was just like habit. Habit was in charge. Old egoic thought patterns were like in charge, and it was as simple as, like being on the computer and seeing the news feed and then like going down. I was like just like going down. Jesus would call it a descent into hell, but I was just like, ugh. And one of those thought, this led to another topic, led to me overhearing something on the news that I had to, and this was very late at night, and like it just was like something punched you in the gut, in your core, and then I had to. It took me probably an hour or so to just like climb out of that hell. So I'm trying to wind up here. So the choosing can have to do with, where would love place my attention? Because if I don't choose consciously from love, from our true self, then old habits, old egoic, like they're just like insidious. And these old thought patterns will like just like, it seems as though they're like hijacking my attention, but actually I gave my attention without being consciously choosing to do so. And when I did, what was appearing to lead even more of my attention, it was like pulling me more deeply into the house of illusion instead of the house of truth. And so I felt like, okay, now I'm contributing to even more illusion here and not to love. So I hope what I'm saying is making sense, because it was, gosh, as you said, Jennifer, it's, sometimes those choices can be moment by moment. So thank you, and any comments I welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeannie, very much for what you shared. And I think, Georgie, you wanted to say something. I mean, did you raise your hand before? Georgie?
I did, but let Alice go first. I might have
Okay.
to disappear in a minute, so I've just stepped out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please, Alice, go ahead.
What a topic. Very, very thought-provoking. It's brought up a lot for me. And I'll tell you, thank each one of you for what you've shared from your hearts and from your minds. Many, many years ago, when sorry, I'm getting messages from my phone. Many years ago, when I contacted my guide many, many years ago, when my guide contacted me, and we were in conversation, and he started to teach me from within. It's aspect of the Holy Spirit, our personal guides, I believe, my experience. But one of the very first things he said to me was, watch your motive. And in a way, that's a word that hasn't been used today, but we're talking about motives. Watch your motive. And Sebastian, you talked to me in The Hague about radical self-honesty. And that's been with me ever since you shared that with me. And our watching my motive is also radical self-honesty with my ego sometimes doesn't like it at all. Not at all, of course. But the two things, watching my motive, and even if my motive, like Jeannie was saying, you stay up late and by habit, an unconscious habit, you look at the news or something. What's your motive of that? And yet you're not thinking about your motive at the moment you're doing it. You're just sort of unconsciously doing it, and then you pay the price, which is hell in your mind, whatever it is, Jeannie. But it's been those two things, watching my motive, and I'm not always very good at that. I forget. And secondly, radical self-honesty, which is exactly what I think you've been talking about today, Sebastian. So those two things I just wanted to mention today. And I'm just so happy to be on this. And I love you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice, very much for sharing your wisdom and for your presence. And I think Georgie wants to say something before leaving.
Mhm. I love your words, Jeannie and Alice. And my challenge is my discipline of this mind. Do you mind, Sebastian, if I refer back to last month's meeting? There was something that was said there that I didn't come to the meeting, but I watched the recording, and
Sure.
it stayed. Yeah, it
Yes,
stayed
sure,
with.
absolutely.
Thank you. It stayed with me, and you used the word polarity. And it was the first time that I'd heard polarity used, and it's been mulling over in my mind. And I really liked the use of the word polarity. And I think my confusion with the ego mind, with the lower mind, is that it likes the words duality and non-duality. And I don't even know what it means. None. I have to, well, so which one's which? But your use of the word polarity made it all so much gentler. It put it into the context for me of my true self, to be able to accept everything. And I'm so pleased I've said that, because I've been wanting to share it. And this morning I was listening to the Centre for Contemporary Mysticism, and there was Patricia was interviewing Marie Perron, and this Michael Mark, I think he's helped her to edit this last book, Metanoia. And it was so lovely. He actually used the word polarity, and he used natural polarity. And to me, that made it even more gentle, of accepting everything. For me, I see myself as this beautiful, natural, loving being. And all of this stuff from the ego has not sat with me. Yet it rises occasionally, but I'm aware now that when it does rise, there's going to be some gentle message in there for me to grow in this process. The other thing that they were referring to, as you've referred to here, it's this beautiful self, this uniqueness of self, of my beautiful soul, and to be able to own it now. Whereas with duality and non-duality, it was if it was saying, you can't own who you are. And the more that we share and talk here, you know, we meet the uniqueness of Reuben, which is just so beautiful. And the way he laughs at himself, you know, I love that he can laugh at himself, you know, and Yogi Chris, you know, you're doing it in your way, and it can only be done in your way. And it's this acceptance, and then the allowing of this self just a bit. And I feel it now growing every day, this beauty of myself, and to accept who I am in my uniqueness. And that the old story didn't allow ourselves. I felt it didn't allow me to be me. And I've loved me, and I love my journey. I love my story. I love my day to day. And it's that valuing of everything that's happening. So I think I'm complete. Thank you so much again for letting me refer back to last month. And I love this polarity. I love natural polarity. It's what we are. So, and I love you, Sebastian, and every single one of you here. Because we're all unique and beautiful. At the same time, this is the oneness. And to share it like this is just joy. Joy G. Yeah, joy. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgie, very much for what you share and for bringing to our awareness the energy of gentleness and sweetness of the heart. It reminds me the many times that our Divine Mother said that the new is going to be manifested through the sweetness of the divine love. Sweetness is all about the new. So thank you very much for bringing that energy to our dialogue. And thank you very much.
Can I also say, I thank you, Sebastian. And we
Sure.
go back a couple of years, and once again, the ego mind loves to, as Judy says, it loves to give us that punch. And you said that Saint, and I think I've said this before, Saint Teresa de Avila said, just put the word holy in front of everything. That's the gentleness of it. And that is so sweet, so sweet. And if I can just share one other thing that I've felt, we're talking about a question, and the question that I've been taken on myself during this last 24 hours, really. And everything is always in this last 24 hours. Things, you know, are just coming and growing, and it's so beautiful. And my question is, does it matter? If anything gets me, does it matter? And the truth is, it doesn't. This is where the love just steps in, and the mind, it doesn't matter. Whatever the mind wants to bring in, does it matter? And the truth is, it doesn't. Everything's unfolding divinely perfectly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Georgie, very much. And I think it's a great opportunity to close this session today with this remembrance, the remembrance of the energy and the power of gentleness and sweetness. Ego cannot bear sweetness and gentleness because ego is always harsh, and aggressive in so many ways because it's come from a wound. Actually, it is a wound manifested. So gentleness is an incredible, powerful energy that we have in our identity that we can use, so to speak, every day and at every moment. Treat ourselves with gentleness, with sweetness, with love, so we can extend the sweetness of our Divine Mother into this planet. I believe sweetness is going to change the world. I deeply believe in that. And I would love to see, this is just a personal thought, I would love to see more and more sweet brothers and sisters all around the world. People who cry, people who can be moved by the beauty of sunshine, sensitive souls will bring the new into the earth. So thank you for bringing this remembrance to this gathering. And now I invite you to finish this session. First, just with a reminder from the logistic standpoint, you will see on the website, we always post the agenda for the year. So we have here in this page, which is the encounters, we have all the agenda for the next year, 2026, which is going to begin shortly. I'm going to send the link here in the chat room just in case you need it. I invite you to check it for the next year. We will keep going with sessions and groups because this is part of our spiritual path. But there are some little changes in the agenda. We added more in one program. We changed something in other programs. But you have all the information there. I just wanted you to remember that. And now I invite you to remain 1 more minute in silence before saying goodbye and to celebrate life with the music that I'm going to share with you. Thank you. Thank you very much and have a wonderful rest of the day. And I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Love you,
I love
Sebastian.
you all. God bless you all. Bye.
Bye. Merry
Bye,
Christmas. Happy New
Lourdes.
Year,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Hallelujah.
Love you all.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
Happy Christmas.
Hallelujah.